Two folks to hold it.
¿Tú sabías que el papá de ella es alcalde?
Sí, yo sé. En una ciudad downtown.
Sí.
So I'll furl it if you want.
Thank you, Ryan. Where do you want us to be?
Where's Leo?
Any support you need?
What is this? A toilet. Every single human being sees it.
Folks, can we maybe like gather more towards the center?
This is a toilet. Recoge los bellos allá. Uno ahí. Hello. Hello.
What do we have to do? Number one, number two. What do we have to do? Number one, number two. That's the first one. That's what it is. Free to be. 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 That's good. We're going to put more energy in the next one. More bathrooms now. 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 Let me test this one out real quick. We can't hold it anymore past intro 694. We can't hold it anymore past intro 694. We can't hold it anymore past intro 694. We'll get to that. We're gonna try.
Ryan, is that person here that you wanted to wait for?
Okay. Sorry.
All right. Okay, we ready? Get the show on the road. All right, New York City. Relief is on the way. Today we are voting to make New York City flush with public toilets. The long-awaited and widely celebrated bipartisan bathroom bill will create the first citywide public bathroom network. And by 2035, we'll have a network of over 2,100 public toilets, doubling what we have now. Right. Every single person walking around New York City should be free to pee. In a private, clean, functioning bathroom. No one should have to experience the humiliation or stress or indignity of having to relieve themselves out on the street. New York City has 8.3 million residents, but just over 1,000 public toilets. That's one toilet for every 7,000 people, and that is absurd, and we can do better. The consequences of the failure to plan for more public toilets are thousands of predominantly Black and brown New Yorkers getting criminal and civil summonses, tickets, and fines for simply having a bladder and an intestine. 34 years ago, 4 homeless men filed a lawsuit against the city demanding safer and better access to public toilets. And since then, our city has grown, our city budget has grown, but somehow we have not managed to address this issue. Through Intro 694, for the first time, our city agencies will have to actually come up with a plan to maintain and expand a citywide public bathroom network. Right now, we don't have a plan. We don't have a comprehensive strategy. We have a hodgepodge of agency-specific processes that create a disjointed, stunted, and some might say foul approach. The bill was developed out of the Free to Pee Coalition. This coalition is a diverse group of people who are pregnant, menstruators, parents, caregivers, homeless people, older people, and workers to demand our city plan for this basic human need. Today, nature is calling, and we are answering it, and we are so excited to finally pass this bathroom bill. So I want to thank this whole coalition that's here. We have Coalition for the Homeless, Vocal, the Street Vendor Project, Deliveristas, Transportation Alternatives, maybe Urban Design Forum.
Yeah.
Lots of data and research. We have Got to Go. All right, y'all. We got a short program, which is great. We never have a short program. So today we're going to invite Noam down from Vocal.
No! Hi.
Thank you everybody for coming out today. My name is Noam. My name is Noam Cohen. I'm a member of Vocal New York, and I'm here today to fight for public restrooms because I've lived it. I know what it's like to have to go around. I was street homeless, and I know what it's like to have to go around to restaurant asking to use a restroom, to be turned down, be told it's out of order, or just told you gotta buy something to go use that restroom. I used to sleep on the trains, and as you all know, millions of New Yorkers take the trains every day. It ain't just homeless folks. And the reality is those restrooms only open at 7 in the morning and close at 7 at night. I've had to hold it in. I've had to hold it in countless times. And that's really the daily reality for so many New Yorkers who are on the streets. When we talk about public restrooms, the lack of public restrooms in the city, I've lived it. When we talk about public parks, a lot of those restrooms close at 4 in the afternoon. What if you're a parent with kids who needs a public restroom, later in the day at 5 o'clock or at 6 o'clock? I'm really glad that the council is finally addressing a problem that has been a problem in the city for decades, a lack of accessible public restrooms. Nobody should have to go through the human indignity of having to hold it in, or having to piss on the train tracks, or having to piss on the street, just because of a lack of public restrooms. I know folks who have ended up urinating on themselves. I'm lucky enough to be fairly young. I'm 19 years old. I can hold it in. I can hold in for quite a long time. There are folks with disabilities, and there are folks who are elderly who really can't do that, who can't hold it in. And I know a friend of mine who ended up urinating on himself because, he could not hold it in. He had several health issues that made it impossible for him to hold it in. He had to go to a store and buy some new clothes to change into. Nobody should have to suffer that human indignity. What we're really talking about today, we're talking about an issue of human dignity. We're talking about an issue of people's fundamental human rights. We're really talking about, we're talking about a necessity, a bodily necessity for everybody. Whether you are a low-income New Yorker, whether you are street homeless, whether you are a doctor or a lawyer, whether you're commuting to work like millions of people do every day here in this city, you need a public restroom. Folks need to pee. Folks need to go number one, number two.
It's windy.
That, whether you be whether you be the mayor who is going to have this bill coming to his desk very soon. You need a pee. You know, I'm so glad that the council is about to pass this bill that would not only ensure that we have accessible public restrooms in every neighborhood, but it would also ensure that we have a public restroom map that everybody that everybody can access online and find the restrooms that are available. You know, this bill would be transformative for so many New Yorkers, and I just want to thank the organizations that have been involved in this fight for so long. I want to thank Picture the Homeless for starting this fight. Woo! Yeah! You know, I want to thank the organizations that carried on that fight, like Vocal New York, like Coalition for the Homeless, like the Street Vendors Project, and most of all, I want to thank you, Sandy Nurse, for introducing this bill, for fighting for this bill, for fighting this fight. This is going to be so transformative for so many New Yorkers who really need this, who really need access to public restrooms.
Thank you. Restrooms, even at the places they're picking up food for. So thank you so much.
Gracias. Lo voy a decir en español.
Dilo en español.
Muy buenos días a todos. Mi nombre es Antonio Solís. Soy líder de los Deliveristas Unidos y miembro del proyecto de justicia laboral. Quiero agradecer a la concejal de la ciudad de Santa Cruz por la invitación y la oportunidad de hablar en este importante evento. Nos orgullece tener un concejal que fue deliverista y entiende nuestras necesidades. Para mí es importante que haya estos tipos de sitios de baños públicos en la ciudad de Nueva York, no solamente como deliveristas, sino como personas. Nosotros prácticamente pasamos 12, 15 horas afuera trabajando y prácticamente no tenemos acceso a ningún baño. Muchas veces somos excluidos cuando vamos a recoger una orden en el restaurante y no nos dejan entrar al baño. Nos dicen, no, tú quédate afuera, eres deliverista. Vas mojado, vas con nieve, vas sucio porque vas trabajando todo el día en la calle. Y es indignante que no haya baños públicos aún todavía. No solamente para mí como deliverista, para los peatones, para las personas que vienen. Entonces es importante que haya esos baños públicos para que todo el mundo tenga acceso. Hoy en día es difícil encontrar un baño público en la ciudad de Nueva York y que sea digno de cada uno de nosotros como deliveristas. Le agradecemos a Sandy Nur por este proyecto y esperemos que sea pronto, sea realidad y vamos a seguir en la lucha y agradecerle a todos ustedes que hayan venido, a todas las organizaciones que están hoy aquí y vamos a seguir luchando para que haya más beneficios para todos aquellos trabajadores, para aquellas todas personas que se beneficien de estos baños públicos. Gracias.
So my name is Antonio Solís. I'm the leader of Los Deliveristas Unidos, and I am here. First of all, I want to say this is so important to us as deliveristas, but also want to say thank you to Sandy Nurse, who actually was a deliverista, who understands our needs. This is an important fight. This is about having access to public bathrooms. And this is especially important for delivery workers across the city who have to work 12 or more hours a day without access to public bathrooms. And even when we go to pick up food from a restaurant, very often we're denied. We're being told that access to public bathrooms in a restaurant, it's not for deliveristas. This isn't just, but this bill is about dignity. It's about allowing us to have access to public bathrooms, not only for deliveristas, but for many other people across the city. And I'm very grateful for the organizations here that have been fighting for this. And I want to let you all know that this is just one fight. There is many more to come.
Sí se puede. Sí se puede.
Allison from Coalition for the Homeless.
Morning. My name's Allison Wilkie and I'm with the Coalition for the Homeless. We've all been there. You're not at home, you're out and about, and you have to use the bathroom. turn into a real crisis. But for those who don't have a home, for people who are living in shelters or living on the street, this is not an occasional crisis. It's an everyday struggle to take care of your basic bodily needs. I've heard from folks who don't have a home and have to plan their day and their appointments around where they can find a bathroom.
That ain't right.
I've heard from people who have to stop eating or drinking in the evenings because there's only 2 bathrooms in New York City that are available 24 hours a day. None of us like it when people do their business in public, but if you've ever had to do it yourself, you know how humiliating it is to have no other choice. You either do your business in public or you soil yourself. That's the choice. It's a lose-lose situation that no one wants. People aren't choosing to pee in public for the fun of it. But the only approach that's been used to solve this problem for decades is penalizing people, handing out tickets or arresting them. But that doesn't fix the problem. A ticket doesn't clean up the urine. It doesn't stop it from happening again the next time someone has an urgent need and can't hold it. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can have a city that has nice things. We can have a city that takes care of our most basic bodily functions. We can have public bathrooms that are findable, that are accessible, and that are clean and that are open after 5 p.m. I want to thank this city council for taking the lead time and time again to envision a city that is nice, that respects its people, that lets them lead their lives with dignity. And I want to especially thank Councilmember Sandy Nurse for being a champion on this issue that homeless advocates have been fighting for years and getting us here today to this vote. This vote today for a public bathroom infrastructure is a vote for having a more livable city for everyone. It's a vote for meeting people's needs instead of punishing people for having needs. It's a vote for a better, cleaner, and healthier New York City.
That's right. When I say I can't hold it no more, you say pass intro 694. I can't hold it no more.
Pass intro 694.
And we can't hold it anymore.
Pass intro 694.
Right on.
Before I bring up the next person, I do want to give a shout out to Ryan Hickey from my team who's there. Who brought this bill to us and who used to work at Picture the Homeless and has been championing vulnerable New Yorkers collaboratively with our office for a long time. So thank you, Ryan. And I also want to acknowledge Councilmember Rita Joseph. She passed bathroom legislation and advancing legislation that this bill builds off, and she did that last year. So next up, I want to bring Teddy Siegel from Got to Go.
More bathrooms now. More bathrooms now. More bathrooms now. More bathrooms now.
Good morning. I am Teddy Siegel, and I'm the founder of Got to Go, a social media-based movement dedicated to making bathrooms more accessible for all. What started with me running around New York City looking for a restroom has grown into a community of over 500,000 people and Google's largest and most frequently used map in the world. But more than anything, Got to Go is a place where people share their stories. Every day, our community hears from parents juggling strollers and toddlers with nowhere to go. From unhoused New Yorkers forced to choose between dignity and desperation. From menstruating people without access to basic hygiene. From delivery workers, taxi drivers, caregivers, and disabled individuals, all navigating a city that has too often told them you're on your own. The lack of public restrooms in New York City is not just an inconvenience. It's a public health and equity crisis. It should not be this hard to find a bathroom. And that's why I'm so proud to stand here today in support of this historic legislation, because this bill goes beyond the promise of more bathrooms. It promises a more compassionate, livable, and equitable city for all. It acknowledges that access to public restrooms is fundamental infrastructure, not a luxury. This bill is about people. It's about dignity, equity, and the fundamental right to exist in public without shame or fear. Because no matter who you are, where you come from, or what's in your wallet, when nature calls, your city should answer. Thank you to Councilmember Nurse and all the advocates, agencies, and everyday New Yorkers who made this moment possible. The Got2Go community is behind you, and we're not stopping until everyone everywhere has access to a bathroom, no exceptions. Thank you.
Yes, Eagle.
Free to pee! Free to pee! Free to pee!
All right, y'all, we got one more person. I want to bring up my colleague who's also helped champion this bill.
Hi, Krista Hudson.
Councilmember Chiose.
Yes.
I'm New York City Councilmember Chiose. I represent Bed-Stuy, South Heights, and Brooklyn. I'm
Okay, you can enter
intolerant, and I love cheese, so like I need to use the bathroom all the time. We're showing how good local government works, right? This improves our lives by tenfold. We see so many bills passed once every week, or every other week in the city council. Many of them sometimes don't tangibly change our day-to-day lives, but this is a bill that will improve every single New Yorker's life significantly. So if you're lactose intolerant like me, you love cheese, you love pizza, this is a bill for you. This is a bill for us. Thank you.
Love cheese. Love milk too.
We're going to bring up another colleague from the Progressive Caucus, also who is a big bathroom champion, Councilmember Risa Joseph.
Rita Joseph.
Intro 694!
We can't hold it anymore! Pass Intro 694!
I love coming rallies. You get to dance, and I love it. I love it. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, my fellow bathroom users.
Good morning!
I am Councilmember Rita Joseph, representing District 40 in Brooklyn. I'm honored to stand here as the co-prime sponsor of Intro 697, alongside my colleague and lead sponsor, Councilmember Nurse. I just start by saying New York City is facing a public restroom crisis, and it's been going on far too long. In a city of over 8 million people, 10 million of visitors each year, access to clean, safe public restrooms should be a basic guarantee, not a privilege.
That's right.
But the reality is, for many New Yorkers, finding a restroom when you need one feels like a scavenger hunt. It's stressful, it's undignified, and deeply inequitable. Whether you're a parent with a toddler in a tow, a senior with health concern, a delivery worker keeping the city running, or an unhoused New Yorker, just trying to meet the basic need, the basic human need, everyone deserves access to a restroom. Legislation 694 is a game changer. It will require the city to create a comprehensive plan implementing a citywide network of public restrooms. Built with intention, accessibility, and equity in mind. Thank you, Councilmember Nurse. It's about meeting people's needs where they are, across every borough, every neighborhood, not just in our tourist zones or wealthier districts. This issue is also deeply personal to me, as someone who moves around the city with my youngest son, with aging family members, and who represent a diverse working class community. I see firsthand the challenge that comes with a lack of restroom infrastructure. It's an everyday issue that affects people's mobility, their health, and most of all, their dignity. And I'm just proud to support this bill. I'm proud to be actively championing solutions to this issue alongside VP Levine, who has been a tireless advocate for expanding public restrooms across the city. We've been working together to make sure this conversation doesn't fade into the background, because we know that solving this problem means prioritizing the needs of everyday New Yorkers. I want to thank Councilmember Nurse for her leadership and vision in getting us to this point. I want to thank all the advocates, community members, and organizations who have been raising their voices and pushing this issue forward. Your work brought us here today. Intro 694, I don't know why I'm stuck with that number. It's a critical step towards building a more just and more compassionate, more functional city. We're not just fighting for bathrooms, we're fighting for the right to exist in public spaces with dignity. So let's get it done. Colleagues, let's vote this bill in today. Okay, we got one more speaker who joined us, another member of the Progressive Caucus. This bill actually is one of the Progressive Caucus's top priority bills. We have an agenda about 10 bills, and today we're knocking off this one as well as a couple others that we'll talk about later on. But Alexa Viles, Councilmember.
Alexa Viles! Alexa Viles!
How are you? I'm Councilmember Alexa Viles, representing District 38 in Brooklyn. So proud to be standing here with my colleagues. Listen, I'm sure everybody has said this already. I will say, in my 4 years of office, some of my proudest moments have been related to bathrooms. Fixing bathrooms for my constituents, getting bathrooms online has probably taken so many hours of my work. I had no idea how much time I would be fighting with the Parks Department or any other agency around access to public restrooms. It is fundamental to civil society. We are a wealthy city. There is no reason we should not have a reasonable network of publicly accessible bathrooms for our residents, for visitors. So I'm so delighted and proud to be able to support this legislation today, and just want to give deep thanks and gratitude to everyone who has been fighting on this issue. It should not have been an issue that we had to fight on. It should have been something that said, wow, we're a dignified civil society that actually believes in its residents and wants to spend money on making sure that things that we need are available. And what Councilmember Joseph said is for dignity of people. This is dignity, basic dignity for all. So I'm really excited to be able to support this. And thank you so much, councilmembers. You did the thing.
Take a picture before they close.
Thanks to the coalition.
All right, y'all. We're going to take any questions that you might have.
Hi, I'm Olivia Navy. Just two quick questions. One, you say this will be over the next 10 years, more than 1,000 residents. When, though, would people start to actually notice a change? Like, will it happen slowly over 10 years? When do you see the timeline of
Well,
that
we
actually
hopefully sooner rather than later. We'd like to see them hit some benchmarks by 2030. You know, the city right now has been piloting some smaller modular units like the Portland Loop that take much shorter time to get up and running. They cost much less. They're doing the automatic clean toilets, the HEPs. So we're trying to get more of those out. We need more members to say they want the bathrooms in their districts, and we also need to cut through the red tape to make sure that we can just put them where we need to put them.
And you mentioned cleanliness. How will you ensure that they will be maintained appropriately? Will you hire more people to clean them, or you mentioned the self-cleaning ones?
Yeah.
What, there's certainly a risk
So
with
for
that.
the first time, as I mentioned, the city has never had a bathroom plan. Now the city is going to be forced to have planning for bathrooms as part of the regular city planning process. So every 4 years, they're going to have to give us a report and tell us how much they're spending, what's their capital plan, where are they putting these, how are they accounting for equity, how are they accounting for new high traffic areas that we didn't have before because of the density. So, we're going to have to push them. Passing this bill is just the first step.